Martial Arts Chat podcast is sponsored by A1 Fight Gear. A1 Fight Gear uses the latest cutting-edge boxing gloves for professional and amateur fighters, gym enthusiasts and kickboxers. Local and national gyms in the UK, do yourself a favour and check out a1fightgear.com. And if you're wanting to get into shape, get back into shape, then go to beastgear.co.uk. Use the coupon code MartialArtsChat to save 15% off your purchases. They got core sliders, straps and barbell pads and complete strength and conditioning programs to suit your needs. Finally, we're also sponsored by Wilde Martial Arts Television. WOMA.tv produces, finds, acquires, commissions and presents all you ever wanted to know about martial arts. Discover techniques, exercises and forms from your favourite martial arts. Explore martial art philosophies, health, culture and spirituality. Hello, my name's Chris Allen and this is the Martial Arts Chat podcast. Today, I'm being joined by one of the UK's top prospect fighters at the moment. He recently, not long ago, headlined a huge Bellator event, and now he's coming back on the 23rd of November to fight again at Bellator London. It's Tim the Experiment Wilde. How you doing, my friend?
Hello, mate. Thank you for having me.
No, as I said, appreciate having you on. Obviously, you're a big name in the UK now, especially after your last fight, a massive card you were on. So, obviously, we're all rooting for you in this fight, as well as obviously Charlie Leary, another great UK prospect. So, how did that all come around then? The fight with Charlie.
To be honest, I'm surprised I haven't fought him previous to now, because he's obviously been around quite a while. He's a big name, and yeah, well, we were scheduled to be out in June. I was injured. So I couldn't fight. That was against Brazier. Again, he was shouting his mouth off, and to be honest with you, I asked for Brazier for London, and apparently, I don't know whether it's true, but Brazier asked for me. But the powers that be obviously didn't want that to happen, and they come back at us with Charlie Leary, and same as I did with Primus, same as I did with anyone. I was just like, yeah, whoever, let's go, signed it. And yeah, so the match has been made up for quite a while, but it took quite a while to release it. So
no, it's definitely an interesting match. You know, definitely a very even match. It's going to be an interesting one to see. And what's interesting is that Brazier, talking about him, you meant to fight him, he put out on one of his social media, like, who should I fight next? And a lot of people in the comments are writing your name and Charlie's name. So it's interesting how they put you two together now.
Yeah. Like, we've got some good lightweights in this country. It's a stacked division, and we're obviously up there and all kind of hustling for that number one spot, you know. So for me, I was thinking, well, let them all hustle it out, and I'll fight the international guys. And you know, that didn't go my way, as everyone saw. Maybe we'll get to that later, whatever. But if not, it's one of them. I'm actually thinking now, well, let's just shut up a few of these English guys up, because they all say that they're number one. Brazier, Charlie, they all say, I'm number one in England, I'm number one in England. Well, let's see who's number one in England then, ain't it? Do you know what I mean?
That's it. You know, we don't like to fight each other, but as you said, we all want to be number one in the UK.
Yeah, man, 100%. I want to be number one in UK, mate. I want to be number one in Europe, and I want to be number one in the world. I'm just going to keep working at it while I can, while my body's fit, healthy, and can do so. And it is. I'm just going to keep plugging away at it. And yeah, I love my job. I'm passionate about it. I'm blessed to be able to do this for a living. So.
I know, living the dream, as they say. You know, you're not exactly, when you actually get up in the morning, you don't feel like you're going to work. You know, but also you're getting paid. No. It could be worse.
No, 100%, mate. This is. I'm very, very grateful and thankful for the fact that I can do this for a living. I really am. It doesn't feel like work to me at all.
That's it, and that's when you know you're doing what you should be doing in life, and not working a 9 to 5, giving yourself endless stress, you know, and things like that. So that's a good message to be sending out. And as I said, fastest growing sport in the UK. So it must be nice to be quite an experienced person in the sport, as it's really starting to pick up now in the UK. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm lucky. I mean, it's really, really, like, Bellator are doing great, massive things for, you know, not just UK but European MMA. They're really starting to get recognised over here now, and I'm amongst the bunch of the first, you know, the first group to be signed from Europe, and that speaks volumes. And the fact that, you know, I was the first, these are just little things that don't really mean a lot, but it is little achievements, And like I was the first guy out of the European guys to headline a fight for Bellator, headline a main event, So in my hometown, that for me is a little that'll as I said earlier, the result didn't go my way, but the whole process and everything, it's like that'll stick with me forever, as a great life experience, and I'll be able to tell that to my kids, my grandkids, So I'm chuffed to bits for that, and then, obviously Yannick has now done that headline, the main event as well. He was the second, so it's good. They're really pushing us European guys, and I'm blessed, like I say, to be part of the movement.
Yeah, like I say, besides the result of the Brent Primus fight, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure, because I was there, I was K-side, I'm pretty sure you dropped him at one point, you know what I mean? And it's just, as you know, you dived in, and it's just one of those things, But he didn't exactly dominate you or anything like that. So you gave as good, and what people might not know is that, like, you hadn't fought for nearly a year since then properly. You're coming back against the guy whose only one loss was against the current champion in Chandler. So there are the positives to be taken away from that. So it must have been, how did it feel? Obviously it must have felt great, but how did it really feel, after that amount of time being offered such a, like a high level fight, headlining as well? That must have been some, like, were you jumping up and down, or were you thinking, oh shit, what's going to happen here?
No, mate, I was ecstatic, people will have different opinions on it, and everybody's welcome to their opinion. People will say, oh, they fed me to Primus, and other people will say, wow, you got given that opportunity. Now, like, for me, I didn't actually drop him. I always thought I dropped him in the fight, and that's exactly like you say, was why I've jumped on top of him. And listen, it was a learning curve. I got excited. I think there was a few factors played into that. There was the 10,000 people in the stadium there for me cheering, headlining in my hometown as such, and that kind of, it got to me. The feeling through the crowd. It kind of. I should have stepped back and assessed the situation. Now, Brent Primus, for anybody who doesn't know, Brent Primus is a very high-level second-degree black belt, and that is his favourite submission. We was having a great chat about it after. He catches high-level black belts with that submission a lot. So very, very early on in the fight, I wasn't sweating. There was a lot of factors to it. People don't say that. People just think, oh, we got subbed. But I didn't get to show anything, so I'm even more excited for this fight, because now, people are going to get to see me, and, they haven't seen me really for 18 months, and I know people will be thinking, oh, you're very quickly forgotten about in this sport. So I'm so excited to get in there and put on a show, and people will be like, oh shit, where the hell was? That's what Tim's been doing. They would have seen that in the Brent Primus fight if it got going a bit more. But like I say, there was a lot of factors to that. And Brent's a great guy. And mate, who else out of the European, guys that were picked and signed to Bellator, who else got offered the number 2 in the division as their debut fight for the main event, like you say? So, people can say what they want and stuff. I'm just like, I'm blessed. I'm buzzing. I was very grateful. Jude knows me well. He knows I'll fight anyone. And I really will, So, because for me, I've got that fight experience now. I know I'm tough. I ain't going to just quit. I know I can dig deep. And I've got that level of fighting now. Now it's about just putting a game plan together for the different opponents and just keep growing. But, like, yeah, so I'll just jump in with anyone. I want it to be the best. You've got to beat the best. So I don't need to be fed cans, build a record and have 5 or 6 wins on a row. I'll fight anyone, Benson and any other guys. Like, I'm just ready to go now. So let's do it. That's where I'm at, really.
Well, what you're saying definitely reflects in your career. Even from back when you were fighting in Bama, you're taking on guys with always positive records as such, some with massive experience over yourself. So your record just shows that you've never shied away from a tough fight. And that's why you said, like, people are easily forgotten, but people like yourself aren't easily forgotten for being that person, if you know what I mean. And the fight with Charlie Leary coming up, you two have got over 40 fights between you, experience, and that's just got Fight of the Night written all over it in my eyes.
Yeah, mate, I agree. Listen, I bring I'd say I bring 75% of the fight of the night in every fight I fight, because I know I've got a super exciting fight. So if I know if I'm fighting a tough opponent like Leary or like a guy like Brazier who ain't just going to drop when I land on him, then I know it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'll make that fight exciting. And I have massive respect for Charlie. He's actually been fighting professionally longer than I've done MMA since I've even did my first MMA class. So, the guy is legit, and I know I'm probably not going to do anything that's going to shock him too much. I know my stand-up's going to surprise him, but it's going to make for a great fight. I see the fight going everywhere. It'll be standing, it'll be up the cage, it'll be on the ground, me on top, me on bottom. It's going to be a great, entertaining fight. The fans are going to be the ones that win in this fight. But, yeah, I'm excited, mate. You'll probably tell how hyped up I'm getting.
Yeah, no, that's it. And I keep thinking to myself, I'm not saying neither of you can finish it in the first 3 rounds, but if it does go 3 rounds, we'll all be screaming for 2 more. It's going to be one of those sorts of fights, and I really can't wait to sit there and witness it, and well, honestly, that's on the whole card, that is really one of the standout fights in my eyes, and I'm not just saying that because I've got you on the microphone at the moment, of course, but it really is one of the standout fights, really evenly matched fight as well. Shame you're not.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I think it should be on the main card, but that's not my decision.
Mate, you don't need to tell me that. I was screwing when I found out you got Brazier and Back on the main card. They're both great fighters, but what a boring fight that's going to be, man. Jesus Christ. It's going to whoever can get top position on the ground is going to stay on top for 3 rounds, I think. And who wants to watch that on Channel 5 when you can watch me and Charlie Leary punch the shit out of each other for 3 rounds? Do you know what I mean? But hey, listen, they obviously think it's a more entertaining fight. Leave them. I'll tell you now, Fabian's fight's going to finish early. He'll knock Shipman out, and because that's going to be cut early, then they'll put the highlights of me knocking Charlie out in the 3rd round, no doubt as well. So, yeah, it'll get on the telly somehow, one way or another.
That's what I like to hear. Yeah, get quick finishes on but there aren't actually that many fights being shown on Channel 5. To be fair, they need to really start upping that a bit. Especially they've got
there's 3 on, ain't there? I think at the minute.
Sorry.
There's 3 on at the minute, isn't there? I think there's Fabian, Brazier, and then obviously MVP. So maybe they can squeeze me up there. I don't know. I keep pushing for it. I've made it clear to Jude I want to be on that main card, but we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, I've been there when they're having to stick to their timing sort of things. Sometimes you never know. You might end up on the main card. You might have to fight after the main fight's finished. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, no, it happened in Italy as well, didn't it? I don't mind, mate. Listen, I'll be there. I'm there for work the weekend. No, whatever, I'll fight whatever time they want and whatever time. Well, I won't say whoever they want. Obviously, I'm fighting Charlie, but yeah, if Back drops out, I'll jump in fight Brazier as well. I ain't bothered. It's they know me, so maybe I'll fight Brazier after I fought Leary. I've got the gas. Let's see.
Nah, that'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Imagine if Jude was like, "Yeah, do it. Why not?" Oh, can you imagine?
Yeah.
So what? Obviously, so no more. Obviously, we don't want to wait your last fight. Moving on to your new fight now. So the reason you've been off for a while, then, is that obviously because the injury you had then recently?
Yeah. So it's no big secret. I've suffered with my back. I think most MMA fighters suffer with their back. It's a very, very common injury. I've done a lot of. I've got a good team around me, so I have a really great physio, great strength and conditioning coach. I do a lot. I train smart, So, but nobody knew this because I'm not the kind of guy that makes excuses. I mean, not that it didn't even affect the fight anyway because I didn't wrestle, but I haven't wrestled all year to that Primus fight, and then I had the Primus fight. I come at the Primus fight. I had 2 weeks off. I started training again. Got the call for Brazier. Yep, saying we'll take the fight. That's always the case. 2 weeks into training, my first spar back wrestling, my back went again, and I actually went and paid for private, like a steroid injection in my back and treatment on my back. Didn't work, didn't get it right. I was literally just going to do it, keep doing it until it worked. But basically, the doctor said if it didn't work, it probably won't, not in time for the fight, because we was like 3 weeks out. So I had to pull out, man, which I was gutted about because, I really wanted to shut Brazier up. And then after that fight, it took me nearly 6 to 8 weeks to get my back right. So I didn't start wrestling training properly till about August. So yeah, but August, very light wrestling, and then picked it up September. And my back's been absolutely sound now. I've been and seen a specialist, got some advice. I also I read like this book. I actually got advised it was more psychological. The pain was real. The pain was
Yeah.
real, I can assure. But cut a long story short, it ended up being a psychological thing, and the fear of it going more. I was putting more stress on my back. So basically, I've corrected that now. I wrestle heavy. I get over to Renegade and wrestle with the guys like, Leon and Fabian and Joya. But and it withstands that. So I know that no lightweight, is going to maul me any more than Leon Edwards can. So I know my back can hold up to that now. I'm back lifting heavy, back to where I was on all my strength before. So yeah, I'm sound mate now. So that, now I've got past that. That was a big thing for me because my back's gone quite a few times over my career. So, but yeah, that's what stopped me getting back in the cage because I'm 32. I want to be in regular. I'm going to have this fight. I want to be back in again in February. So I need to stay active. It hasn't been the best couple of years as regards to injuries and fighting, as you can see from my record. So, but I'm looking to put that right now.
That's it. Get more. So this will be your second fight of the year. Obviously, potentially would have been your third if it wasn't for the injury. So yeah, you're definitely showing that obviously you're trying to keep active, and again, that's the sort of fight you are, and that's the sort of attitude to be having. So you're talking about you went over to Renegade for a bit as well. Is that where you train predominantly, or do you train other places as well?
No, so I've got my head coach is John Roberts in Cannock, which is UTC staff, small gym, very small. Very, I've been there for 8 years. John's worked miracles with my striking, and I now and have done for nearly 4 years. Trained with Neil Simpkins in Warsaw, Gracie Barha, WS1. He's a jiu-jitsu wizard. He really helps me, and then over the years I've wrestled at different places. So I've been up and trained with Jimmy. I get around sparring everywhere, but I think Jimmy Wilde over an hour travelling, whereas I can do Renegade in 45 minutes. And all year I've been messaging Fabian and Leon and saying, "Oh, I'm coming, I am coming," and then back goes, or my back just worn up to it. So it is a tough session of the wrestling over there. They've got some really high level guys, but yeah, predominantly at the minute, as it stands, I'm just going over there for my wrestling and my grinding work, my wall work. But yeah, they're very welcoming. I know a lot of the guys that train there. Very, very good team, as you can see. They're doing big things, and I shall be over there sparring, no doubt, and maybe jumping on another MMA session in the week. So, but yeah, as it stands, I've been going there now probably got 5 or 6 weeks since I've been able to wrestle heavy for every week. So yeah, a good bunch of guys, and I like the gym. I like the vibe down there. So.
Just get Yannick to lie on top of you for 3-5 rounds and try and get up. That must be pretty.
Oh yeah. That's it, mate. If I could survive that, I could survive any lightweight in the country, can't I?
Exactly, and you're doing sparring sessions with Leon and Fabian. Those two stand-ups are incredible, as well as they got Aidan Lee down there as well, haven't they? They got some good fights. They got some good amateurs coming up as well. Man, they're a serious gym, mate. No disrespect to any other gym, but the people coming out of there at the moment. They're becoming one of the biggest names in the UK. So do you feel quite privileged that you get the chance to actually go down there and be welcomed so well by these guys?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think, it's on my doorstep. I think West Midlands in general now are really producing some high-level fighters.
Yeah, man, 100%.
I know it's a different association, promotion, but Joy Herbert defending his title the weekend looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've trained with Joy for years at UTC and all over the place. A great guy. He really deserves to get signed if he does. And Renegade, they're good bunch of guys, because a lot of them guys kind of trained at UTC in Birmingham before, so I knew them through that and stuff. Over the years, I've had a lot to do with them, and yeah, I think we don't tend to have gym politics around here in the West Midlands. We'll just go and train anyway, and they're quite welcoming. I ain't gonna fight any of them guys, so. There's been times when a couple of maybe amateurs from our gym have fought amateurs from their gym and whatever, so that makes things a little bit awkward. But listen, we're all adults, we're all professionals, and no, none of the high-level pros there are going to fight each other, so they're quite inviting. And yeah, we get some serious training down there, and I do feel very lucky to be welcomed down there. I know, Leon's inviting me down, and Tom Breeze, as much as I want, really. So I don't, I don't feel I need to make a move to there by any means. I'm very, very happy at UTC. You know, John's a great head coach. You always know a great coach when they allow you to go and train elsewhere because they have that trust in their own coaching and their own ability and, you know, loyalty and everything. So, yeah, man, I'm just really lucky. I've got a really good team and circle around me at the minute. So.
Well, it's definitely important to stay with your coach. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you go. He's seen how you've grown. He knows exactly your strong points, your weak points, and you know, and what you progress in best, and mentally as well, because you know, and that's really important as well.
Well, that's it. He bought somebody on that we work with mentally, and you know, it's a really good team. Really good team there. You know, my main training partner at UTC staff is Jack Owen. He's been a bit unlucky in his last 2 or 3 fights. You may know his name or not, but he's a nice kid. He's very young. He's still got so much time to grow. He's still growing into it mentally, into the sport, and he has had some really tough fights. You know, I think he needs some more even opponents, and yeah, me and him have trained together now for 8 years, and he knows me, but you know, as well, better than anyone really, and he can really hold pads for me. He can really push me in areas, and he's pushing through John's guidance. Yeah, so it's excellent to have a great training partner like that. Like, you know, this morning, literally in pads, we've done striking this morning, MMA striking. I'm battering him with elbows and knees, and he knows how. He even watches my opponents for me, so he's like mimicking Charlie Leary's style. So yeah, you know, I'm blessed to have such a good team around me.
Yeah, mate, amazing, isn't it? So it doesn't matter what sort of level you're at, you can still be one of the best training partners. You know, it really proves with your colleague there.
I mean, Jack Owen, mate, he's a legit beast. He's struggled a little bit mentally in a couple of fights. He's put that right now. And in his last fight, he fought a Norwegian guy, who's a very, very experienced guy, and just got submitted with a triangle. But I mean, he beat the guy on the feet. He was battering him, cut him open and everything. So on a smaller show, golden ticket. But, you know, he's 24, you know, and he's 5-3. So he's got plenty of time to get in it, you know, 5 or 6 more fights under his belt, good for 4 or 5 wins, and he could be on that Bellator scene. I've advised him to sign up to like a multi-fight deal, maybe to Cage Warriors, and you know, work up through that way. But yeah, he's a young lad. But as regards for attitude to training and as a training partner, he can't do enough for you, and that's the kind of guys that you want around you. You know, he's the most selfless guy I've ever met. You know.
Well, you can tell he's definitely like you because he's happy to jump in there. People like Akon Wanlis I'm seeing here as well. Yeah, and that's no easy fight. Yeah, at all.
No, definitely not. You know, Akon's a beast, and there's
Kimbo as well.
Yeah, that Kimbo Tingle, and I think something like he'd had like 3 fights for every one of Jack's, you know. So he's had a couple of tough fights, you know. He fought Chris Meyer as well at Feather.
7-1, Chris Meyer. Yeah.
Tough fights. He needs a couple more fights, you know, guys more his level, like. But then he's jumped in and fought Stephen Hooper as well and beat him. So he's got skills. He's just growing. But yeah, he makes a great training partner. I'm blessed to have him. And then over at the grappling gym, you know, I've got great guys there. And then, you know, mixing it up with the guys that I am at Renegade, I'm going to do nothing but improve working with these guys, you know. So I am lucky and very blessed where I'm based here in West Midlands that I've got a lot of good talent around me.
No, that's it. And it's definitely, as I said, it's nice to see someone you're working with. We were just saying, you know, following your footsteps, taking any fight he can, and maybe he's too brave, you know, as you said, need to find some even fights. But hey, that's the attitude you want people to be having. You don't want people to be padding their records too much. So no, it's good, mate. It's good to hear. That's the sort of message you're putting forward to him, mate, as well. But talking about he's fighting in Golden Ticket fight promotion, talk about, because you've got a bit of a hand in that yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I did have. Unfortunately, we did the last show, and we had a great, successful show. But following that show, I actually kind of walked away from.
Okay, sorry, I didn't realise, mate. Sorry, I didn't.
No, it's not about. No, it's not a problem. Everything's all amicable. I just didn't want to. I can't do them both at the same time. Like, I'm the kind of guy that's all or nothing with whatever I do in life. So I was finding that I was putting so much focus into Golden Ticket that I was pulling myself away from the fighting, you know, and my fighting career. And I can help in fight promotions. I can do my own gym. I can manage fighters. I can do anything I want once I finish fighting, you know, because I know I've got the brain and the mindset for it and the attitude. But now, while I can, I want to fight, and I've realised that, and I had to go through that and do that. So, yeah, like I'm just 100% on the fighting, and everything else can wait, mate. Everything else can wait.
No, that's fair enough. And you know, sometimes you're right. You need to focus 100% on these things, and so you got to do what you got to do. Are you still chatting with obviously another Bellator contender in Dan Castle? Obviously, he's got a hand in that as well, still, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's him. It's Dan Cassell. His dad, and his dad's mate Guy. The three of them run it. So I joined them to make up the four, and yeah, we did a great last show. I mean, I'm quite confident in saying, and a lot of people agree that it was their best show they've done so far. So I really enjoyed it, and I did bring a lot to the table. But like I say, you know, them three guys are still at it. I know they're doing another show December 14th. I think I'll be there. I've got teammates fighting on it and stuff. So like I say, it's all amicable. I just don't want to invest into that at the minute. And they understand that, you know, I need to invest in my fighting career while I'm still young enough to fight, you know.
No, you're still young enough to fight. You got ages left. You're, as I said, I always say it when like people like Randy Couture went to like 48 years old. You know what I mean? You've got at least another 10 years left in you, man. At least.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be being punched in the face at 48 years old, man. So, but yeah, no, yeah, mate, I feel great. You know, like I'm not one of these rolls out of bed stiff every morning. I'm quite, you know, I get good sleep. I eat well. I don't balloon up massive in between fights. I do a lot of recovery training, a lot of yoga, and I keep myself healthy. I have a very healthy lifestyle, and I train smart, you know. So I know that I'm not 21, you know, I can't grind hard every day, every session, 3 times a day. I know I can't do that now. So I grind hard when I've got to grind hard, and then I train technical when I can, and then I get my recovery and my active recovery. You can burn your body out if you're not careful. You know, like I say, I'm 32 now. I'm not a spring chicken, but I'm not old either. I've learned this all over the years, you know, with the team I work with. So you gotta find a level, and I know my level where I can push myself, when not to, and stuff. So yeah, I'm lucky. I'm quite experienced in it now, you know, and everything feels right. You know, I feel peaked, and you know, a lot of people will judge me off of that last one, but when they see the next one, they'll see, you know, they'll see what I'm about. They'll see how I've improved. And yeah, no doubt I'll be getting a lot of interest and a lot of fight offers following this next fight.
Yeah, we're talking about, you say, getting more interest and things like that. What is your sort of overall goal, if that's not such a cliche sort of question? Like, are you looking, because Bellator, as many people say they want to go to UFC, Bellator now is just as big as the UFC. A Bellator title was massive. Look at Douglas Lima, just won $1 million in the belt. You know?
Yeah.
So, for you, what's the overall goal for you?
Yeah, for me, like, originally, it was UFC, I won't lie, you know. I think every young mixed martial artist fighter was like, it's UFC. But as I've got older now, I've realised now, as long as I'm fighting high-level competition and I'm getting paid well for it, that's all I want to do. And, you know, I honestly, people find this hard to believe. Like, I'm never going to turn it away, but I don't do this for the money. You know, I've left a great job, my own business that I earned really good money in. I've left that to do this and to chase it and to struggle, and drove the shit cars and really struggled to pay the bills, and do you know what I mean? Never had no social life. I've done all that, and now I'm earning better money, and I can live. But I'm by no means living comfortably, you know, and it's still a struggle, you know, especially when you don't fight regular. I want some of that money, but I don't do this. I do it because I genuinely love it. I love the lifestyle. I love martial arts, and I know I'll be involved in it forever. But short-term, mid-term, long-term goals for me. Short-term now is to stay active, keep ready, stay active, so fight regular. So I want to get 2-3 wins short-term. And, you know, the mid-term to long-term goals, I still truly believe that I'm young enough and have enough time to get to the top and be a legitimate contender, if not world champion. I truly believe I can be world champion in Bellator. And I have other goals. Like, I really want to fight in Japan, and when I seen that, you know, Bellator are combining with Rizin and they're putting on that show, that's like love arts in my eyes, because for me to fight in Japan is one of my goals. So I have different goals like that. But yeah, if you're not in this sport to be the world champion, you probably shouldn't be in this sport, because it's a dangerous, hard sport. It's such people don't realise, the kind of sacrifice that you make and the struggle and how hard it is to do this job. So you really have to do it for the love and the passion, which is what I do, like I say.
And that's what's going to keep driving you to do what you want to do. A lot of people might just do it for one thing and think, I'll be able to get in there and do it. But the fact you do it for your passion means, do you feel like it gives you the motivation just to give it a complete 100%? And even from your injuries as well, you had that bad couple of years recently, with the injuries. Have you learned a lot from that as well about your own body and how you need to recover and how hard now you can push yourself, as you were sort of explaining earlier?
Yeah, definitely. Like, if I wasn't passionate about it, like I said to you earlier, mate, I'm all or nothing. So if I didn't have that passion and that drive to want to be the best and be champion, I wouldn't do this sport. Because there's easier ways to make money in life and a lot easier ways. I'm an intelligent guy. I've got a trade behind me. I can earn money, elsewhere much easier than being punched in the face, So, but like, I am passionate about it. I love it. I love learning to not get punched in the face and punch them in the face and wrestle them. I just love it. I love learning. And you get to meet some amazing people, and you get, like I say, I've headlined Bellator in my own region, if you like, in front of 10,000. I think the attendance that night was just over 10,000 people. Like, that's crazy.
It was busy, man. It was, when you came out, God, the ground was almost shaking, it was loud.
That'll live with me for the rest of my life, and I'll be able to talk about that to my grandkids, And when I'm old and fat and bald, and I'm like, oh yeah, I used to be hard as nails. I did, hopefully I've got bigger things. I've got a nice shiny Bellator on the belt wall, on a belt on the walls, to show them and stuff. But even now, by no means am I thinking about it at all. But if I retired now, I've got a lot to be proud of myself. I'm very, very proud of myself. I'm very proud of martial arts in the West Midlands and what we're all achieving right here. We've really, I think this last year to two, especially, and Renegade have got a big hand in that. But we've really stamped West Midlands on the map, as regards to MMA. And we're going to continue to do it. So, some of the amateurs now that I'm training with, and I see, mate, they're phenomenal. And I'm glad I got to fight them, in 5 years' time, put it like that. So.
No, that's it. This new breed coming through, they're learning MMA as a whole, as we say a lot of the time,
Yeah.
And do you know what's actually interesting? You were saying about, you have your trade, but you love to do what you do. It really reminds me of, I'm trying to think of the name. I think it might have been Forrest Griffin or maybe even Chuck Liddell. They were like, one of them was like a qualified accountant or solicitor or something like that. And a lot of these martial artist guys, got really good backgrounds, good qualifications, but as you said, it's your passion. You like to fight. It's not because you're an animal, want to hurt people as such. You just want to compete, and it's what you love to do. And that may be the secret to success,
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, Charlie seems like a great guy. Like, I've had a little snoop at his Instagram. He's a family man and whatever. He's the same as Brenton Primus. He just had another baby. Like, these guys, we're all just 90% of the guys are just decent men, and even the ones who come across as knobheads I'm sure Terry Brazier, he shuns his mouth off everything. I'm sure he's sound in person, like, but a lot of people, like, we're all just the same. We just want to, I could have, like, Brent Primus, right? I was ready to kill the man. That's my attitude I have. And then after in the bar, he was sitting offering me whiskey and having a chat. We are just normal people. I don't want to, actually want to kill them. It's like you have that mindset till after the fight, and then we're just normal people again, normal family men, working blokes, and it's great, man. I love the sport, I really do. I'm passionate about it, and yeah, I'm blessed that I've got, like I say, a big community around me that I can lean on and learn from, and hopefully, when I'm done fighting, got my credentials, I can pass that on to younger generations again and teach them about it, and it's great, man. Martial arts really has, I've got a lot to be grateful of and thankful for with martial arts. It's changed my life. The area, Wolverhampton, it's a rough area. My life could have been completely different. So I'm forever grateful to this sport. And like I say, when I'm done fighting, if I can give something back for it, I will, by all means, without a doubt.
That's fantastic attitude to have, and a lot of people would love to hear that. Very inspirational as well. And as you said, the West Midlands, you know, really getting put on the map. Basically, most of the UK getting put on the map, but especially in that area of the country. Even the football team's not doing too badly either, to be fair.
Well, I don't really follow them, but yeah, I know a few Wolves fans, and yeah, from what I can gather, they're doing really well. So.
So yeah, it's all kicking off at that side of the woods, mate, 100%. Uh, and obviously, I won't keep you for much longer, Tim. But a question I have to ask everyone who I haven't spoken to before. Obviously, my favourite thing about fighters sometimes is the nicknames and where they come from and things like that. You've been asked a million times, but where's the nickname, the Experiment, come from? Where did it originate?
Well, my coach, John Roberts, he has got fighters to the UFC and high level. He's had numerous world Thai boxing champions. So that was always his background, was mostly Muay Thai. People come to John Roberts for. That's what he was well known for. But a lot of people didn't know and don't know that he's very, very high level Jeet Kune Do, trains Wing Chun. He's a very good Kali stick fighter. He's got years and years of experience in other martial arts, especially like Eastern martial arts.
Nice.
You know, Filipino and that. So now a lot with these fighters like Paul Taylor, Vaughan Lee. I think he tried bits of it with Vaughan Lee because Vaughan Lee's very unorthodox. But yeah, like Paul Taylor, a lot of these guys were just really Harvey Harra, very, very good, solid K1 Thai boxing fighters and stuff. So with me, he tried a different approach, and what he called it was he was experimenting with me. So he wanted to try teach me more Jeet Kune Do and more like Wing Chun style fighting and use them techniques. So what we would do, we would like train me a technique, and then we would go up to Rough House and spar with Jimmy and Dan and, you know, Andre and all the guys up there and try it out on them. And every week we were just experimenting, and, you know, it just kind of grew from that, really. And he just basically one day says, "You are the experiment, Tim, and the experiments work. You're the experiment, and I'm glad I experimented on you because it's worked," you know. And that's where it kind of come from. I'll be honest, I didn't really like it at first, and I'm not that bothered about it now. But you know, a lot of people, you know me as the experiment now, and it's kind of stuck. So yeah, that's the history behind it.
Well, you don't have to like it, because that's the point of nicknames. They should be given to you, as they say. You know what? It could be worse. You could have Castle's nickname. He's called Pork Chop.
yeah, Pork Chop. Yeah, I definitely prefer Experiment to Pork Chop.
That's interesting. I love how that you actually used you as an experiment against different people and things like that. It's interesting how you got that, because I say a lot of people have such cliche nicknames, and no, mate, it's interesting that you've been given it. And as I said, you don't have to like it because you get given it. You know, so that's it. It sticks.
Yeah. It has got an interesting story behind it, you know, and like I say, John gave it to me and it stuck, and it worked, man. The experimenting with the martial arts worked, you know. You're seeing guys now in the UFC using trapping, which is from Wing Chun, you know, Paxos. There's a lot of moves that we see now coming out in UFC, Bellator fighters, you know, just little things that, you know, John's been showing me for years. I've just not had the platform to show it yet, and hopefully you guys will see lots of that November the 23rd. And unfortunately for Charlie Leary, he's going to be on the end of it. So.
But at the end of the day, you'll have a great fight and then be drinking whiskey with each other at the bar afterwards, you know? That's the way we like it.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
And again, obviously, you're fighting local as well. You're fighting in London. Okay, so we're going to expect the same sort of roar from the fans there again?
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to be on enemy territory a bit. He's a lot closer to London than me, but yeah, man, I'll be sending a couple of coach loads of fans down to come and cheer me on. And listen, I think by the end of it, everyone will be standing up cheering both of us on, because, like you say, this fight's got Fight of the Night wrote all over it, and yeah, we're going to put on a show for everyone, no doubt.
Yeah, no. If anyone thinks this is going to be a dull fight, then you're wrong, completely wrong. And this is definitely one to look out for. As said, I think just remind me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. The fight will be shown on the Bellator app on the phone. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so that's free. Everyone to download. Yeah, but don't forget to check out. It might get bumped up to Channel 5 as well. Deservedly, it should do. So keep an eye out for that, because as you predicted, some of the fights might finish a bit earlier than expected. So you might actually get bumped up. It'd be great. As I said, you very much deserve it. But the most important thing, Tim, is that you're fighting again. You've got a great fight, and you know you're back in London on Bellator fighting again.
That's it, mate. 100%.
Cool, mate. So before I let you go, because I know you've had a hard session of training today and then you've been nice enough to talk to us today, I just want you to give a shout out to anyone you maybe haven't already, or if you want to say it again, please feel free, and to help you get to where you have today.
Yeah, so shout out to my main coach John. My main coaches John Roberts and Neil Simpkin. They do wonders for me. Great people, great friends, and thank you to them. UTC staffs, Gracie Baha. Thank you to Renegade for the help with his camp and obviously the future help moving forward. The guys up at Fourth Dimension who spar with me every week, and all my sponsors. Booster Fight Gear, Active Therapy, the English Hypnotist, RXI Nutrition, We Push Performance, all these guys that help me week in, week out, fight camp, there for me at the drop of the hat. They make sacrifices for me as well. It'll all pay off, guys, when I'm Bellator champion. Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone who follows me, supports me, gives me the shout-outs. And, yeah, man, I'll put on a show for you guys November the 23rd, you'll see.
Oh, it's going to be a war of one. Honestly, do not miss this fight at all. And I'm sure they know, but just in case, have you got any social media platforms people can follow you on as well?
Yeah, just Tim Wilde MMA. So you get me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter at Tim Wilde MMA. Give me a follow. Appreciate the support.
That's it. And I said, everyone, don't forget to see this fight. And from me, Tim, again, I thank you very much. I appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule. We're less than 4 weeks away from the big fight. You know, it's going to be absolute fireworks, as well as many other fights on the card. And personally, as myself, I personally think it's going to be fight of the night. And let's see what happens.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
If you've liked this podcast, be sure to subscribe on iTunes. We're live every Sundays at 8:30 p.m. talking MMA. Go to facebook.com/martial arts chat, give us a like there, and follow us on Twitter at martial arts chat.